everybody. My name is Bobby Thompson. I'm from the class of 1955. Currently, I'm married to my high school sweetheart, Eloise Thompson. This coming October 1st, we would have been married 69 years. Currently, we have 5 children, 4 girls, 1 boy, 9 grandchildren, and 17 great-grands. My famous memory of Gibbs High School is being with my wife, Eloise Thompson. And I love her today. Currently, she wasn't able to make this meeting because she just had major surgery, but I'm sure she would like to have been here. And I thank all you guys. And I'm so happy to see all of us who are still around. Thank you.
Okay, my name is William McNorton, class of 55. I moved to New Jersey for 10 years where I was in the medical field. Then I moved to San Francisco, California, where I was a transit operator for the city and county of San Francisco. I have my kids. I have 11 kids. I know I don't know how many grand, but right now I live in California. I live in Sassoon City, California, and that's it. Dear old Gibbs. He will always be in my heart.
My name is Thomas Manuel. I'm a class of 1955. I attended Florida University from 1955. I've been in the Army for a couple of years. I'm married, and I'm into my 3rd marriage now. I have about 10 children and about 7 or 8 great-grandchildren. And it's a blessing to be with my classmates. Gibbs, I attended Gibbs. In fact, I lived by Gibbs. I worked at Gibbs for several years in the early 80s as a maintenance man. And I was doing education. I worked at Campbell Park. I worked at Gibbs about 7 or 8 years. I worked at another school. But anyway, Showacres. But anyway, I enjoyed my journey. And I'm proud of my classmates who all finished school along with me. Many is gone, but we're still doing great. Thank you.
My name's George Watson, and I'm a graduate of 1955 Gibbs High School. Over a period of time when I thought I was getting further on in the world, I was called by Uncle Sam in 1959. And I spent 25 years of military service. And on top of that, I was a Persian missile technician. That's the big missile that the Army has. And other than that, I've had a blessed life, early retirement thing. I'm sort of broke up in all places. But other than that, life has been good, and I thank the Lord.
My name is Louis Williams. Most people call me Louis B. I am from the class of 55, like all of the previous ones. I served 9 years in the Army and 4 in the Air Force. I had 3 stints, twice with the St. Petersburg Police Department and once for Tampa. But I found out that police work wasn't for me, so I eventually ended up as a letter carrier. And I retired from that after approximately 31 years. Counting my 10, 13 years in the military, I did a little over 31 years. And I am a graduate of USF, class of 77. I have 2 daughters, 1 son that passed, and I have 7 grandkids.
I'm Mary Walker. Over the years, I graduated in 1955, with the class of 1955. I didn't go right away to school, had a family, married to Richard Walker Jr. I'd had a son prior to our marriage, Jewel Love, and he was adopted by my brother, so he's not Jewel Love Donaldson, living in Flint, Michigan. I had 9 children. Richard Walker and I had 9 children, so I had a total of 10 children. I started out just doing domestic work and other work, and I decided that a few years later, just in the 60s, that I would go to City Center for Learning. It's his predecessor to P-TECH. And I stayed there, and the Lord blessed me with the counselor, Miss Nona Groter-Claus. I had gone to Gibbs Junior College at the time. And she saw something in me and took tests and whatever. And with the state, it was, what was called rehabilitation. And they sent, some people to school. So I finished up my years at Gibbs. It wasn't Gibbs Junior College, it's St. Pete Junior College. I finished up my years there, got my AA. And she had gone to Eckerd College without my knowing. I didn't know she did that, and set up appointments for me to take the SAT, to go to the admissions council. And so I finished my last 2 years at Eckerd College. Graduated in 1973. Went back to City Center for Learning because the people were there, and then I got my job through there working for career education at the time. And I stayed there for a couple of years, and my first teaching job was at Dixie Hollins High School in 1976. And I taught at Dixie, went to Lelman. It was a junior high then, and when they were getting ready to change into middle school, I went over to Medellin Middle School, and I was there for 22 years, and I retired in 2001 after 28 years in the county. That's my story.
Oh, since that, yeah. Okay, I'm Retha Barber Nero. I graduated from Gibbs High School in 1955, and from there I went on to Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University for 4 years, got a BS degree there, and I came back to St. Petersburg and started my first year teaching at Perkins Elementary School. From there, I taught about 2 or 3 years before I applied for the Overseas Dependent School System, which is with the Army, and I was assigned Busan, Korea. So I went to Busan and I taught 2nd and 3rd grade, and I was there during the year that President Kennedy was assassinated, yes. So after my tour there, I came back to the States, and I went back to, I think they assigned me to a school in Clearwater, but at that time, the superintendent my mother knew quite well, and I told him I didn't want to go up and down the road to the Clearwater school. So as soon as they found a position, I went back to Perkins. From Perkins, I went to Melrose. I taught a while there. I also taught a while, Jordan Elementary, yes, under Mr. Burney, Fred Burney. And of course, Fred Burney was also the principal at Perkins Elementary, yes. So after that stint, I stayed here in the system, and I became the helping teacher. That was at the very crux of integration. And we had elementary and secondary ag, Title I. And I became a helping teacher for 2 years, I think, and then they promoted me to supervisor. From a supervisor, I became the Title I director. And I was the director for 3 years before I went to the State Department of Education in Tallahassee and was a program director over Title I and the Migrant Education Program. I stayed there for 10 years. I left there and went to Florida State University, and I did a program over there for a year. Then I went back to the state and then 10 more years with the State Department. After my State Department time, I retired 3 years. So on the third year, I became a consultant for the state of Florida, and I went from most of the school districts and provided consultant services in Title I. After that, and that was about 2016 when I gave it up fully. So I've been between Georgia and Florida, since 2016, and we finally decided to sell the house in Tallahassee and move to Georgia full time. But meanwhile, when we were in Tallahassee, everybody knew we had 3 restaurants, Gillette Barbecue. So I helped my husband in the barbecue business. We have 2 sons between the 2 of us. We have 6 great-grands, and we have 8, I'm sorry. We have 8 great-grands, and we have 8 grands. So those are our light. They are the light of our love and the light of our world. And so that's about my history. I worked over 55 years in education. So it's been a pleasure, and it's certainly a pleasure to be with the class members of the class of 55.
Okay, I'm Lucretia Pittman, a graduate of Gibbs High School, class of 1955. And my maiden name is Lucretia Johnson. And I worked in Fort Pierce for, I guess, around 5 years, because we didn't have any openings in St. Petersburg. So I went to Fort Pierce, and I worked there for approximately 5 years, and we got an opening in St. Pete, so I came home to work in St. Petersburg. I've been working for 40 years, really, and I'm still working. I have an exercise class at Bay Vista, and we exercise twice a week, so I always love to move, so I'm still moving, and it's a blessing to be able to move and to take care of myself. And I just thank the Lord and praise Him for being so good to me all my life. Ever since I was a kid, I can remember Him. At 5 years old, I said a speech at Travelers Rest Missionary Baptist Church. We were over there where the dome is, and they came over and took over all our property. And I lived on Dunmore Avenue, which is what's over there where the dome is now. 1504 Dunmore Avenue South, St. Petersburg, Florida. And I grew up right here in St. Pete, and I love it, and I still love it. And people say they're getting old, and I don't go for old, I'm just mature, all grown up. So I tell them to be old by themselves. So I enjoy it. The Lord has been good to me all my life. And my classmates, we've always enjoyed each other's company, and we're still enjoying each other's company and entertaining ourselves and just having a good time. That's what we're supposed to do in life. Have a good time and enjoy each other and help one another. So this is what I do.
My name's Willie Foster, Willie H. I was a member of the class of 55, but I didn't graduate. I was in the Army from 1958 through 1960. I obtained a GED when I was in the Army. Once I got out, I went to Gibbs Junior College, thanks to what's that lady name? Miss Clark, Johnny Ruth Clark, encouraged me and finally talked me into going over there and talking to Mr. Alberry, who at that time was at Gibbs. I did that, went through the junior college, and since I was working as an orderly out at Bay Pines, I went and majored in nursing. Something I shouldn't have done, but I did. And I did earn a degree and worked for several years at the VA. And then I worked out in the public for 4 or 5 years. I got a license as a nursing home administrator, and I did that for several years. And went back in the VA, and I think I stayed about 5 years in Tampa. I got a chance to go back in the Army, but I couldn't retire because I had too many years that I wouldn't have enough time to get 20 years. And I started wishing I had done that when I graduated from FAM. Anyway, I was able to do that, and I finished up doing that, working as a nursing home administrator. And I think I retired in 1990 or 1995, somewhere in that. I'm not really sure. But I really enjoyed it. I really loved it. And I was very, very, very happy to have done what I did with my life. I could have went ahead and destroyed things, but I didn't. And thanks be to God, He kept guiding me and leading me, and He's still doing that. And I hope He continues to be the head of my life. I got a master's degree in healthcare administration, and I pursued that healthcare administration for a while, but it's very competitive getting a position unless you have some clout. And I didn't have enough clout to stay competitive. I have 2 boys. Well, my wife, I met her at FAMU while I was there. They got married in 1972, and we've been together since then, 53 years this year. I have 1 son, Kevin, who is 61 now, and Gerald, who's 50, but they're from 2 different women. Kevin's a principal in Tampa at Hillsborough High. He's a past principal at Gibbs High School. And Gerald taught for a while, but he just got very disenchanted with teaching. And he moved on. He's doing something else in pharmacy now. I have, I think I have about 9 grandchildren. Several great-grand. I got some great-grand I haven't even seen. But that's okay. God keeps a watchful eye on all of us. And one day I hope to continue before God takes me and do something in the ministry myself. I really look forward to that. And I'm asking God to lead me and direct my path that way. And I hope that He does.
My name is Anna Gustina St. Clair. When I was at Gibbs, it was Anna Gustina Jones. And I finished at Gibbs High School in 1955. I went to Spelman College, and I graduated in 1959. And I married Howard Harris, Jr. of Tampa, and I have 3 children and 5 grandchildren. I taught school in the Pinellas County school system at 16th Street Middle School and Morgan Fitzgerald. and I've enjoyed my life, and it's so good to be with my peers here. Thank you.
Well, you think about the year 1955, that's a long time ago. So you look at 55 and 225, how many years is that? 70-some years? You know, I think the best thing about it that you see the original classmates again, I want to call them. And I haven't seen a lot of them for a long time. I was glad to see Bobby. Haven't seen Bobby in a long time. But it's good that all of us can come back together to talk with each other, communicate with each other, and even talk about the good old days. Because they were good old days back in the 55. Everybody seemed like they were together. Communication was beautiful. I guess as we went through the years, we saw a lot of division of the community. And I think that's what has hurt us today. The community is not like it used to be. The next door neighbors are not who they were when we were back in 55. So things have really changed. And so what we have done is made adaptation. I guess community adaptation. I think that's what has happened to us now. I miss a lot of these people because I know a lot of us are not here anymore. But as I look around, I see people that I kind of grew up with in the neighborhood and glad to see these people again. All of us are getting older now. I look at everybody back in the 55 where we were energetic, ball players, and I look at each other now. Sometimes we can barely recognize each other. I have to look at the tag. So, do you remember me? No, let me look at your tag. So I'm able to look at the tag and kind of, know who we are again. But God knows I'm glad to be here with this class again. To see these, I won't call them kids, to see the kids of 55 back together again and things like that. So, with God help, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here. And that's all I can say. I'm just glad to be here live with these people. And I'm going to enjoy myself in these 2 days. Because I may not see them again. But for these 2 days, hell, I'm going to enjoy myself. Okay? I taught school for 42 years. That's what I did. And I think I enjoyed that because I really didn't want to go to school after I left Gibbs. But I knew I had to go. So, able to teach at 16th Street, being a black school. I never was able to teach at Gibbs anymore, but I was able to teach at 16th Street on the John Hopkins. I did that maybe for 10, 12, 15, 16 years. And to give back to the community from where you came from and people that helped you, you gave it back. And then I worked at Camel's Park. In fact, I'm still in the park system now. I still work with recreation, I still work with kids. And I don't want to let it go. My wife is always asking, when you going to retire? I don't want to retire. I still want to work with these kids. Sometimes I think about retirement and it scares the hell out of me. I just don't want to retire now. So what I'm doing now, I still work with the city of St. Petersburg. In fact, I think I went to the city of St. Petersburg in '72, and I'm still with them now, with kids, and yeah. And they always ask me, man, when are you going to give it up? Never. No. But they've been good to me. The people have been good to me. So the years that I left Gibbs and came back, I went to A&M at 55. I graduated from A&M in 5 years and went back to get my master's from A&M. I got that. But I continued to work with the city. Had kids, of course. Had 2 boys and 3 girls. And one of my sons had passed away now. But other than that, I have a great family. They're grown now. In fact, my youngest kid is a teacher. I think she's teaching some elementary school. But I have enjoyed my years in St. Petersburg. And I still have, I do a little podcast with a guy, and I enjoy that. So right now on a Sunday, I can relive some of my life again through my podcast and through his podcast. So right now I'm still working, and I don't want to retire. I don't want to retire. So I'm glad that you interviewed me, because I'm just glad to be here. Just glad to be here, and thank God for it.
Ralph Beecham. Oh, I went to college, yeah, and then I worked for the post office. After the military, I got about almost 20 years in the post office. You know, I'm 91. I'm blessed, you know. And see, I was in that class of 55, you know. So like, I lived in San Francisco for about 25 years. Came back here, you know. I got two biological, one adopted. All of them was born in California. Yeah, so I lived in Oakland, San Francisco. I was doing like well until I went to the VA. They trimmed my toenail and cut too deep, and it got infected, and they had to take my leg off. I wish I'd have stayed in California. The Lord knows best. Wish you luck, and thank you.
Well, I graduated from Gibbs in '55, and I got a job teaching at 16th Street Elementary School. And Mr. John Hopkins was the principal there, and I married his son. We had 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. And I taught in Pinellas County for 32 years. I enjoyed it all. And then when I became 55 years old, I was tired of teaching, so I retired. And I've been retired for almost 30 years. So I'm glad to be here, and I'm enjoying every minute.
Okay, my name is Willie Dancel, class of '55. I left Gibbs in 1955, went to FAMU, went in the military, Navy veteran, 5 years, married, 5 kids. After the military, I was the first black radiographer that NIH hired. I worked in radiology at NIH for a number of years as a research technologist. And then, when I left NIH, I began teaching at a community college. During the time teaching at the community college, I pursued a master's. I finished my master's, then I pursued a doctorate. And I became a doctorate and full professor at Howard University in 1982. And I retired from Howard University in 1979. One thing I have to say about the people in St. Petersburg, they would help you. And I got a lot of help from a lot of people that enabled me to fulfill most of my dreams. I've been all over the world, all over the country, and I'm still traveling, but not as much. I do most of my traveling now vicariously through my kids. But basically, I've had a good journey. I've had a very blessed life, and I'm thankful.